Our next guest is a singer, songwriter, producer, recording engineer. He does it all. A new single called Better. Here's a peek.
Oh, I'm trying to hold on forever, 'cause when I hold you, oh, nothing feels better. Never.
Well, there you go. And here he is in the studio with us for the first time. Sean Thomas, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, man. It's really nice to be here.
It's a great pleasure to have you here. What a great story you have. We were teasing you before we got on camera about just the amount of talent you have. This is not fair at your age. You're 24. But in all seriousness, you really are a guy that steps into the studio almost old school and says, not egotistically, but I'm going to do everything. And your new single is a testament to that. As someone said, you really know every inch of the studio. How does that happen?
I like that a lot. And I mean, it just comes from a passion, I think, of wanting to learn everything about what you like doing. And for music, that just revolves around everything. I love songwriting. I love playing instruments. I love producing, mixing. Every part of the process, I find it kind of feeds into itself. You can learn from, mixing, and then that makes you a better songwriter.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of intertwined. So yeah, it's really nice to be a part of the whole kind of process, and then getting to work with all these other amazing musicians too. It all feeds in itself.
Well, let's talk about some of the things you've done now. You graduate from the Berklee College of Music. That's no small school at just 20. And then cut to Debbie Gibson, who people my age grew up with, and she's out there still knocking it out. You end up producing her first album in a couple decades. And then you take over, and I want to get this right, you're her music director during her Las Vegas residency, and again, you're 20.
Yes, I mean, I'm very fortunate to have met her. I met her actually here in Vancouver on the set of a Hallmark movie she was doing.
Yeah.
I played the music student, and she was the music teacher, so it just kind of worked out perfectly, and I think I was 16 when I met her, and we're going on 10 years now of an amazing relationship and friendship and professional kind of situation, working on all these albums. And man, she's taught me so much, and I'm very grateful for everything we've worked on.
What is great too is that you're getting to see somebody who was about your age when I was as a DJ in the 80s playing her music. And here she is all these years later. That must be very inspirational to someone who was her age then, now.
It's very inspiring, and I try to pick her brain as much as I can about all these stories and lessons she has, because it's not often where you get to do a job and learn from somebody where you can kind of ask somebody who's walked in the exact same footsteps. So yeah, definitely. You mentioned off camera that one of the things that you are grateful for and a gift for is that you've got perfect pitch. Yes.
When do you realize that? I mean, how does someone realize that they have that?
I was probably 6 or 7 years old. I was in choir for about 10 years, but this was kind of the early phase of that. And my choir director, after one of the classes, came up to my parents, and he was all giddy, and he's like, "Do you know what your son has?" And my dad, I think he was picking me up at the time, he's like, "No." He's like, "He has perfect pitch." And my dad was like, "What's that?"
Well, I was going to say, you're not guilty, viewers, if you're going, is that a good thing? Is that a noticeable thing?
Yeah, I mean, it just means any note that I hear in the world, I just instantly know what it is. Like, it's just a D. And it's kind of, I describe it like just seeing color. Like, this table is brown, or this water is clear or white. It's just as simple as that in my mind.
Are you coming from a musical background? I mean, your parents, again, I always like to ask people like you, what are you hearing, seeing, listening to, what have you, that makes you say, I think I got talent for that?
Yeah, no, all my brother's amazing, my parents are awesome, but music isn't their strong suit, I think.
Okay.
I don't know where I got it from, but just ever since I was young, I just wanted to pursue this, and I've just been working at it since as long as I can remember. Going
back to your single, which again we're looking at right now, talk about the work again, because you take it from the ground, from the beginning to the end. There's a core, like I should say, or a choir-like element. Mm-hmm. Are you creating that? Are you hearing that? I mean, because it is the depth of that.
Definitely. I mean, the way I personally start my songs when it's just a song that I know I'm going to be writing and finishing for myself is I'll write it completely acoustically and keep it that way, like as long as I can. So, for example, this one was written completely on an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And I'm just hammering away at the lyrics and melodies until it feels right to me. And then there's kind of a moment where everything clicks, and then I just hear the finished song in my head.
Wow.
And then it's just about getting it to the finish line at that point. And then I mean, the choir was a really fun part. I set up 2 microphones in my studio,
Yeah.
and I just acted like a choir, going from the left side to the right side of the room, just in different voices, and putting accents on. And
Would it be? I'm going to plain speak this as kind of a musical idiot, but is it basically trying to keep your song as bare and minimal as long as you can until that is perfected,
Yes,
and then you add the layers?
definitely. I mean, one piece of advice that I've gotten from all these people that I've been fortunate enough to work with is just to make sure it feels good acoustically before you kind of add all these bells and whistles. So that's been my approach ever since I kind of first started.
Is there kind of a negotiation when you sit down with people like Debbie Gibson or New Kids or other people, just to kind of see whether you can blend and groove together?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the negotiation kind of comes from the first collaboration, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
And from there, you can see the output, and then you go from there. And I think a lot of the times people are kind of worried about not getting it on the first try or something like that. But I think a relationship like that just takes a while to form, and then you kind of develop a shorthand. And it's just kind of like, again, learning a language. You just have to learn to speak that specific person and their melodies and their songs and their ideas. And once you kind of have an understanding of their brain, then it's a lot easier to kind of bring that out of them.
That is very cool. Who are you, as you rise up the ladder and you get older, who out there right now would you love to work with?
Oh man, there's so many. I mean, sticking kind of here, there's like Michael Bublé, who's a big Vancouver person.
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake, Ed Sheeran, John Mayer. Those are kind of the top people for me right now.
And a good cross section too, which is great.
No, definitely.
Again, some of the other stuff you've got out, your previous single, She's Mine, What Could Have Been, just great tracks. I commend you for that. I know there are people out there that are going to be listening to your music and saying, okay, when can I see this guy? Is this guy touring? Can we get something going? Any tidbits, teases you can give us in terms of
Yeah, I mean, I'm
performing
really
live?
excited. This year's a big year for me in terms of releasing music and just kind of getting my own name out there. And I'm definitely exploring a lot of live opportunities right now. So stay tuned for future announcements. But I will say Joey McIntyre is coming to Vancouver. We're doing a little bit of a Pacific Northwest run of
wonderful.
shows. So I mean, Franklin Studios on, I think it's May 1st if they're
good to know.
free and want to come out. Yeah.
This is great stuff. It's been such a pleasure having you on. I love talking to artists who have all different hats in their arsenal. That certainly will add to longevity. We can continue success. This is great stuff, Sean.
Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome. The new single is called Better. You can also check out SeanThomasOfficial.com. That's where you can find out more information about Sean, our latest guest here on Our City Tonight. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you for having me.
This segment was sponsored by the Richmond Sentinel, providing news, entertainment, and human interest stories in print and online.